Hello, everybody. Welcome to Chapter 1 of Psych 3111, the Research Methods class. We are going to start with the very beginning and go through these. Remember, each one of these chapters has 2 videos that goes with it, and these are interactive videos. So every once in a while, I'm going to ask you to do something on the screen. If you get questions right, sometimes it lets you just move ahead. If you get it wrong, sometimes it will skip you back to a specific part to remind you of what the answer should be, or to explain better what's happening. So if that happens, that's why. Let's go ahead and start with a couple of opinion questions. Just general opinion questions. There's no right or wrong answer to this one. The first is, why are you a psychology major? If you're in this class, you're a psychology major. Why? What is it about psychology that makes you excited, that makes you want to do it, that makes you be willing to go through this particular class? So go ahead and tell me right now. Okay, I am pretty sure that most of you did not say, I want to be a psychology major because I love methods so well. You love methods and you just really want to do psych methods all the time. Let's do some other opinion questions. Here we go. Would you rather be studying relationships than methods? The reason why I ask this is because my particular interest in psychology is psychology of relationships. I like social psychology the best, and specifically the psychology of relationships. And so for me, I love relationships. The relationship stuff is great. Love it. Let's keep going. Would you rather study emotions, like how emotions work, than methods? Okay. Would you rather study psychopathology than methods? Psychopathology means abnormal psychology or disorders. All right. And then I just want you to answer this. Okay. I am pretty sure that I know how you answered those questions. I'm pretty sure that none of you went in there saying, oh, you know what, I just want to do methods all the time. Methods are the best. I just want to do methods all the time. Methods is great. In fact, some of you are like, hey, why am I in this class at all? Isn't every second chapter of every textbook psychology methods? Haven't we gone through this so many times? The reason why this is such a big deal is because the things that you learn in a methods class are the marketable skills that you need not only to be a psychologist, but also to succeed in other parts of your life as well. So I want to talk to you a little bit about your Uncle Fred. Now, I know I don't know if you have an Uncle Fred. I don't really care, but you have somebody in your life. Probably you have somebody in your life who's like, why are you a psychology major? Because why don't you just get a major that's like real instead of this psychology major? Get a major where you can actually earn some money. Why don't you go be an engineering major or be pre-med or be computer science major? Just go to business. Now I know some of you are pre-med, etc., and that's great. That's fine. And you're like, well, I really like it. And they're like, no, you'll never get a job in psychology, etc. Well, here is something you should know. When you're in a major like computer science or engineering, they do teach you specific skills that you would need in order to get a job and fulfill that job. Whereas in psychology, we generally are learning more about concepts that you can apply to lots of different situations. Except in this class, your Psych 2111 statistics class and this class, research methods, are the ones that can actually get you a job, and not just a job in graduate school in psychology. We're talking about a job in almost any field. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to actually get out of this screen, and we're going to go to this right here. This is the APA, American Psychological Association's website. And they have different resources for lots of different things. And this is their resources for undergraduates. And specifically what they're talking about here is preparing to use your bachelor's degree in psychology. So when you are asked that question, what kind of a job can you get in psychology? These are some of the resources that you should know about in answering that question. And specifically, what they are focusing on here in this particular APA article are about the what employers want out of a employee. So I'm going to click on this right here. This was a specific research study that was done on behalf of the American Psychological Association. Actually, it's the Association of American Colleges and Universities, asking what employers wanted out of their employees. So they're saying, all right, we are the colleges. We want to know what you employers want out of our students. Now, this is not saying we're not asking people who want graduate students here. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what they want from an employee with a bachelor's degree. And so this goes through the methodology. And if you want, you can look it up, and that's totally fine with me. But what we are looking for are these kinds of ideas. Let's see. Let's move on. There we go. Okay. Learning outcomes 4 and 5 employers rate as very important. So these are not just psychology employers. This is broadly. They want you, the employee, to be able to effectively communicate orally. They want you to be able to work effectively with others in teams. They want the ability to effectively communicate in writing. They want ethical judgment and decision making, critical thinking and analytical reasoning skills, and the ability to apply knowledge and skills to real world settings. Those things, what are they, 6? Those 6 things are exactly what we're going to teach you in this class. You will have to do an oral presentation. You are going to have to work with others in teams. You're going to have to be able to write effectively. And here's where we're going to get to other things. Ethical judgment, decision making, that's the entire chapter 4 is ethics. Critical thinking and the ability to apply the knowledge, those are the things that we are going to talk about day in and day out. Because what we do in this class is take the methods that we have in psychology and apply them to whatever you need to apply them to. By the end of this class, you will be able to go up to any employer, and the employer says, well, gosh, we got this marketing campaign that we're going to do, but we don't know how effective it's going to be. You can say, I know how to implement, test, run the stats, and report about which one of these marketing campaigns is more effective. That's what you're learning in this class. Now, if you do want to go on to graduate school in psychology, then you are definitely going to be doing research methods. You're going to do research methods. You need this class. This is just the very, very basic stuff. The stuff that you do in this class are the marketable skills that you need in whatever the step is that you're going to after you graduate. That's what you're learning in this class. That's why this class is so important. That's why this class and your statistics class are the ones that you should actually be putting on your resume as stuff that you have done so that employers know that you can apply these things to real world situations. That's exactly what we're going to do in this class. All right. I really think that you think I'm lying, but I'm not. This is real. This is real stuff that they actually want, and you are learning it here. Please take it seriously. It will behoove you to do so. All right. So we gotta resume the slideshow. There we go. We did this next. In this chapter 1, what we need to do is we need to talk about empiricism. And then we're going to talk about the theory data cycle and the role of theories. Now, so for this particular video, we're going to just go through the empiricism stuff and the intro that we just barely did. And then on the next video, we're going to get into this the theory data cycle and what that means. So let's go ahead and go through empiricism. Empiricism means evidence that comes from the senses. Evidence that comes from the senses is the basis of your conclusions that you make. So here's why we're bringing this up. Science is a philosophy. It's a way of getting at truth or knowledge. And it is not the only one that's out there. There are other philosophies that are out there. And I'm not saying that those aren't useful or good. In this particular class, we're looking at the scientific method because we're looking at that particular philosophy, scientific method, and its underpinnings, which is empiricism. Now, empiricism means understanding things from the senses, like hearing, sight, tongue, nose, right? Olfactory, touch, that kind of stuff, versus just a general impression, for example, or in this case, or a faith-based, for example, knowledge. Now, I'm not saying that those are bad. I'm just saying that that's not what we're talking about when we're talking about the scientific method. Scientific method uses empiricism. What we're trying to do is get things into ways that people can experience with their senses. Now, the reason why that's beneficial is because basically everybody can understand those things. Now, there are people who can better do this than others in terms of actually getting something down to the way that you can either see or feel or taste or touch it. So that's true. And we're going to talk about how to do that even better. But you should know that we're going to talk about the scientific method. This entire class is about the scientific method, about how to run studies so that they are better at empiricism. Now, we'll get to this thermometer in just a second, because the question is, how does this relate to statistics? I know that your stats class was your favorite class that you took. I know you loved it so much. The reason why stats are so big, such a big deal, is because we use them to get to empiricism. In psychology, we take concepts that are difficult to understand and we get them down to a number, get them down to an understanding of things so that they can be understood by basically everyone. Now, for example, let's talk about a thermometer. Thermometer measures temperature. Now, you can go out there and you can just kind of feel with your hands or whatever part of your body how hot it is. You can do that, right? And that is empiricism, understanding that. But we have more precise ways of doing that by using a thermometer. It gives us a numeric representation with specific amounts of intervals between so that we can more precisely understand and use empiricism to understand something like temperature. You can't see temperature directly. I mean, I guess you can see, like heat waves, stuff like that, but you can see the aftermath of the temperature, but you can't see it directly. In psychology, that's exactly what we're doing as well. We take concepts that are real concepts, real stuff, love, fear, hate, depression, aggression, discrimination, all of those things. We take those things which are real, but cannot be just ripped out and stuck on a scale. We take those and we apply numbers to them in order for them to be better empirically understood. So we are not going to be shy about statistics or empiricism for that matter, because statistics are the means for us to be able to communicate our findings in a way that's understood readily by a wide variety of people. Therefore, using the scientific method, and therefore using empiricism. Okay, I think that's a good enough place to start, to end. Let's go ahead and finish up, and then we'll go to the next part of the video, the next portion of this chapter, which is the next video.